Alright, let's talk about your next program. This is your Chapter 3 assignment. Okay? The name, just call it your name, CH3. I just use that format. It's easier to keep track of them. That way I can put them all in the same directory. They won't conflict. That way you can keep track of them as well. Okay? Alright, basic comments are required. Just a little bit of stuff. What I'm doing here, what I'm doing here. And the whole point about comments, I showed you, I had a couple comments in my program too. I didn't put many. But if you try to look at it a year from now, what the heck was I doing? That kind of stuff. That's what comments are for. Okay? Alright, so I say write a Python script to decrypt the following text using a simple substitution cipher. Now, I realize this is not an encryption class. But if you want to learn how it works, just go up on the internet, type in CIT1203. I teach it up there. It's all up there and everything. CIT2563. It's in lecture 2. It's called the Caesar cipher. It's real quick and easy. But the cool thing is you write this program here, when you take my computer security class, you're done. Same program. So you can use it. Okay? Now, let's just talk about it. It says write a Python script to decrypt the following text using a simple substitution cipher, basically a Caesar cipher. Submit the completed program as your assignment. Now, it says the program should use the text below, which I'll show you, hard-coded, and you have to get input for a shift value. Okay? You need to use ORD and char. Going to give you some hints there. Okay? Now, let's scroll down, and I'll come back up. There's the text to decrypt. Right there. Okay? Your actual main method, get input for shift. So make a variable, call it shift or whatever you feel like calling it. Declare a variable and put that value in it. So take all that text, stick it in a variable. Call it ciphertext. Okay? So it says declare a variable called ciphertext. Okay? That will hold that. And you'll notice a couple of them are lowercase. The whole point is you need to use uppercase. Call decrypt, which we'll see what that does in a minute. Passing 2 arguments, passing the shift value and the ciphertext. Then I want you to print the original text on the screen, which I'm going to show you an example of all this. So print the original text on the screen, print how many characters are to be decrypted, then decrypt it, which I'll show you how that works. Then print the number of characters that were decrypted. It's going to be a different number. Then print how many times AND is found in it. If you want to know what it looks just like that. The top is the ciphertext. 455 characters will be decrypted. Yours should be identical to this. Then show me the answer as it's been decrypted. Then 300 characters have been decrypted and the string AND has been found 3 times. Your output should be identical to that. Same numbers, same letters, same everything. Okay? Don't take that and put it in a Python script and turn it in like somebody did. That's not a program. Okay? Alright, now let's see what decrypt does. Decrypt function takes 2 arguments, takes the shift value in the ciphertext, convert it to uppercase, remove all the spaces. Both of these things were taught. Actually, all of this stuff has been covered in Chapter 3. I actually verified when I did this to make sure they're all covered. So convert it to uppercase, remove all the spaces. It says function should use a for loop to loop through the ciphertext, shifting by the value, whatever the value is. Happens to be 3, by the way. For Caesar cipher, the shift should be 3. So I'm going to enter it with 3. Then I'm going to run it again with 5. 3 I should be able to read it. 5 I should not. There are typos in there. They're in there on purpose. Okay. So shift by the value and then return the results. Your function, you notice now I'm saying function, not method. Does everybody see that? This is not a method, this is a function. Does anyone know the difference between a method and a function?
A function returns something.
Exactly, function returns value. Perfect. So what I want you to do Okay? You got to loop and then return the results. You do them the exact same way, except you just put a return statement. It's the only difference. Okay? The function must use the following methods. len for length. Actually, I think you need length outside the function. Actually, you need inside the function too. Yeah, okay. Ord, char, which I mentioned up above what they do. Upper, replace, count, and str. Chapter 3 has an example of every single one of these. But I will give you a hint of one thing that caused me a problem. Replace, let me get idle up here. Okay, say I had a string, name equals Ken. Okay, that's my name. Then if I did name dot replace, okay, it needs to take two things. It needs to take first of all what the original string is. Well, we'll do E. Okay. Everybody see how I did that? Yes? What happened? Anyone see what happened? I told it to replace the E with the A, which it did. Y'all agree it did that? But then when I type name, what do I get? Get the original name back. So, what you need to do, name is equal to name.replace. That way it'll replace it and save the new name into itself. Oops, hit the wrong button. Now it's saved. Did y'all see what I just did? Because in Java, you don't have to do that. And that was driving me crazy. I'm like, why isn't it working? And I said, oh, it returns a string. Doesn't actually replace it. This first time I did it, it replaced it for that, but it didn't replace name. So make sure you realize that. So if you use just this right here, it's not going to replace the spaces correctly. You'll have to use this. This way will, but it replaces it and outputs it. It doesn't save it on top of name. Okay? Everybody kind of understand what that little example did there? That's the only thing that I found even challenging. Now, there is one more slight issue. This is our original text, our ciphertext, gets shifted by 3. So an A becomes a what?
C. No. A D.
A D. Yeah. So A would get shifted to a D.
And then B would be shifted.
So what does Z become?
It becomes
H.
C.
C.
Z.
Z becomes C. But it's got a wrap. Remember, we're shifting 3, but when you get to the end of the alphabet, it has to wrap because it'll. Let me show you why. Let me show you. If you bring up TextPad and if you do View Clip Library, if I can get rid of all this other stupid stuff here, View Clip Library, it'll show you. There's the alphabet. So if you get Z and shift it by 3, you'll end up with a square bracket. See that? Right there. So you need to write your thing. You need a conditional statement. I did mine with an if statement. If it's greater than some number, if it's greater than 95 or 91, no, greater than 90, subtract 26. Yes, sir.
How do you open a clip library again?
Oh, just go View, Clip Library, right there. Right there at the top. If it's got other stuff up there, just close them all out till you get to a blank screen. Then View Clip Library. But you need to handle the upper shift and the lower shift.
You said subtract 20. Oh, okay. It starts at 65. So
Yep. A is 65, D is 90.
So use the instant.
So remember, when you shift to the right, if it goes above 90, subtract 26. When you shift to the left, if it goes below 65, add 26. Understand that? Because, for instance, if we start with B, we shift 1, 2, 3, we get a question mark. But we really want is a Y. So if I shift left, if I put a shift value of -3 in there and shift the other way, I don't want question marks for an A.
So on this assignment, can you do it? Are you doing shift by 3? You said 3, but can you do it?
Yeah, to solve it is 3. But I'm going to test it with different values. Because I showed you, the exact answer is right here. I ran it. That's the exact working example right here. Shifting by 3. The only thing I didn't do was put the shift on the screen, what the shift is. But I'm going to test it with 3, and I should get that. But if I test it with 5, I should get something else. If I test it with -3, I should get something else. So it should handle whatever value of shift I put in there. Yes, sir.
So what is that positive and negative versus some part of it?
Okay. If I start with the letter Z and shift to the right 3, what do I get? Should be a C. Because I reached the end of the alphabet, so I have to wrap around again. So if I'm shifting and I'm higher than 90, it means I'm beyond Z, just subtract 26 and it solves it for you. If I'm starting at B or A, we'll say A, and I shift a negative number, say I shift -3, 1, 2, 3 would be 62, which would be a greater than sign. It's not what I want, but 62 plus 26 would give me, what, an X?
So your solution set is really to alphabetic characters?
Yeah, it's all alphabetic characters. That text I gave you is nothing but alphabetic characters and spaces. So just remove the spaces and you'll be good. I made it easy. I didn't put any punctuation in there or anything. But just remember to shift at the end of the alphabet. If you go watch the recording for CIT1203, I explain what the Caesar cipher is. I'll even show you where that is. Okay, go to YouTube. And if you type in, well, forget YouTube. Internet seems very slow today. If you type in CIT2563, here's all my lectures, and that's lecture 1. You need lecture 2. There's 3, Simon 1. There's lecture 2 right there. Encryption and decryption. This will cover what a Caesar cipher is. And there's a newer version of it up here as well. I just don't know how it orders them. But, so you can read about it there. Okay? Alright. So that's enough for assignment 3. Let me stop this.